Thank you, Mr Acting Deputy President. I rise tonight to speak about a matter of great importance. This is an issue that directly impacts on Australian families. In 1975, the Whitlam government introduced the Family Law Act. This revolutionised family law in this country by introducing the concept of no-fault divorce. This new concept replaced various grounds for divorce with a single basis, irreconcilable differences, established by 12 months separation. The impact on our society has been profound. Within the first year of the Act's operation, there were 76,564 divorces, a staggering figure. After this initial flood, the divorce rate settled at a rate approximately 3 times to what it had been prior to the Act coming into effect. Personally, I'm saddened by the breakdown in the traditional social values reflected in these figures. I'm saddened by the continuing atomisation of our society. I'm saddened by the disintegration of community, progressively replaced by the cult of the individual. I'm saddened by the impact on people, and most particularly children. But the issue I rise to speak about is far more discreet. In addition to fundamentally reforming divorce law, the Family Law Act established the Family Court. This court was tasked with dealing with the numerous property, maintenance and custody disputes that inevitably arise between warring spouses. The relatively brief history of this court has not been a happy one. Over time, proceedings in this jurisdiction have become like other forms of litigation, complex, rule-bound and extremely expensive. This has been to no one's benefit except the lawyers. While there have been various attempts at reform over the years, the need for change remains pressing and self-evident. Recently, I began the first steps in what I anticipate will be a long journey. In this place last week, Mr Acting Deputy President, I began a process of community consultations to identify why Australians are so unhappy with the way this area of the law operates and why the level of suffering and dissatisfaction is so extreme. This process will be ongoing and will continue for some time. In the coming weeks and months, I will hold a series of community meetings and public forums. My aim is to listen and report back to the Senate. I hope to formulate an agenda for reform. Mr Acting Deputy President, I will seek to work with the government to bring about the legislative change necessary. Sadly, even at this early stage, I've heard numerous stories of everyday Australians confronted by appalling circumstances in the family court. Good people who, when faced with the breakdown of the most important relationship in their lives, are then forced to navigate the court's arcane and often brutal procedures. With striking consistency, these people have told me the legal process exacerbates conflict with their former partners. The court's adversarial nature encourages division and promotes conflict rather than healing. Mr Acting Deputy President, this is not an issue of gender. Both men and women suffer through this process, and of course, perhaps most acutely, it is often the children who suffer the most. Mr Acting Deputy President, I don't pretend to have the answers, but something must be done. There is too much pain, too much damage, too many people. Thank you.